Welcome to Connected Souls. I'm Leila Hormozi, here to help you heal, grow, and thrive in love. Most people think love fades because time changes everything, but that's not true. Love fades because we forget how to be fully present. Think about it. When was the last time you gave someone your undivided attention without your phone, without your mind racing somewhere else? Back. Real love doesn't need perfection. It needs presence. And if you master that, you'll experience a connection deeper than anything you've ever known. When we talk about the essence of love, it often comes down to one simple yet profound act, giving undivided attention. In a world overflowing with distractions, being truly present for someone has become a rare and precious gift. To be present means to step away from the chaos of our thoughts, silence the buzzing notifications, and turn our focus entirely toward the person we love. It is in those quiet, intentional moments of presence that love finds its deepest expression. Presence communicates something words cannot capture. It tells the other person, you matter more than anything right now. That assurance has the power to build trust, security, and closeness that no material gesture can replace. Love grows strongest not through grand speeches or elaborate plans, but through the power of being fully here in the moment. Think about the last time you felt someone's complete attention on you. Their eyes didn't dart away, their hands weren't busy, and their mind wasn't elsewhere. In that moment, you felt seen, valued, and important. Now imagine being able to give that same feeling to the one you love on a daily basis. That is the true art of presence. It transforms ordinary interactions into extraordinary connections. When you are fully attentive, small conversations feel meaningful. Simple gestures carry weight, and silence becomes comfortable instead of empty. The quality of presence has nothing to do with time or resources. It is about the willingness to be all there, with no part of yourself withheld. This willingness nurtures love in ways that nothing else can. In relationships, people often confuse physical closeness with emotional presence. You can sit next to someone for hours and still make them feel invisible if your mind is elsewhere. On the other hand, a few minutes of deep, intentional focus can mean more than hours of distracted company. Presence is not measured by duration, but by depth. It is about the energy you bring into the space, the effort you put into listening, and the attention you dedicate to the details that matter to your partner. When you choose to give undivided attention, you are silently declaring that the person in front of you is more important than the noise of the world. That silent declaration is what strengthens bonds and makes love endure through every storm. Undivided attention is not always easy in a culture that glorifies business. Our minds are trained to think ahead, multitask, and divide energy across countless responsibilities. But love asks us to slow down, to resist the pull of constant activity, and to simply be with the person who matters most. That doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities. It means prioritizing presence even in the midst of them. It might be as simple as pausing work to listen carefully to a story, or setting the phone aside during dinner to enjoy the moment fully. These little acts of undistracted attention are what water the roots of love and allow it to grow strong over time. Without them, even the most promising relationships wither under the weight of neglect. Being fully present also means embracing stillness and patience. Often in conversations, people listen with the intent to reply rather than the intent to understand. Presence challenges us to break that habit. It asks us to listen without rushing, without judgment, and without the need to fix or control the outcome. Sometimes the greatest gift you can offer is not advice, but the act of listening so deeply that the other person feels understood without explanation. This type of presence creates emotional intimacy that cannot be faked or forced. It shows that love is not about performing grand gestures, but about offering the heart and mind in quiet, steady attention. Love thrives when presence is consistent, not occasional. Sporadic moments of attention cannot sustain a relationship in the long run. What truly matters is the pattern of daily presence, the choice to show up with focus every single day, no matter how small the interaction may seem. Imagine the impact of repeatedly showing someone that they are worth your undivided attention. Over time, it becomes a language of love more powerful than any spoken promise. Words can be doubted or forgotten, but the feeling of consistent presence is remembered deeply and cherished for a lifetime. It becomes the invisible glue that holds love together through highs and lows. There is also a healing quality in presence. Life inevitably brings challenges, conflicts, and moments of pain into relationships. In those times, it is not always solutions or explanations that strengthen bonds but the simple act of being fully there for one another. When you give undivided attention during difficult times, you remind the other person that they do not have to carry the weight alone. Your presence becomes a shelter, a source of calm in the storm. That reassurance creates resilience, making love capable of withstanding struggles that might otherwise break it apart. Presence becomes the foundation on which forgiveness, understanding, and growth can take place. Presence also deepens the joy of love's simplest moments. When you are fully engaged, even mundane activities become opportunities to connect. Cooking together, walking outside, or sitting in silence feels different when there is true attention behind it. These small experiences build memories far more meaningful than grand occasions because they are real and authentic. They remind both people that love does not need constant excitement to be fulfilling. It needs sincerity, mindfulness, and attention. The more we practice presence in everyday moments, Back, the richer and more vibrant love becomes. It shifts from being something we occasionally celebrate to something we continuously leave. True presence is a conscious decision, not a passive state. Back, it requires awareness and intentional effort, especially in a world where countless distractions compete for attention. To give undivided focus to someone is to make a choice, the choice to honor them above fleeting interruptions, the choice to silence inner restlessness, the choice to create space where love can breathe and grow. That choice is what separates shallow connections from deep, back enduring bonds. Every time you choose presence, you are shaping the kind of love story that is not fragile or fleeting, but grounded and strong. Back, it is a daily decision that defines the quality of love and the depth of connection. When you master the art of being present, you also inspire it in return. Love is reciprocal, back, and the energy you bring into it often reflects back to you. By giving undivided attention, you invite the same in return, creating a cycle of presence that strengthens both partners. Back, it becomes less about demanding attention and more about giving it freely, knowing it will naturally return. This creates a relationship environment where both feel valued, cherished, and fully seen. The more you embody presence, the more your love grows into something extraordinary, not because of perfection, but because of the genuine commitment to simply be there. Listening in love goes far beyond the simple act of hearing words. It is about tuning into the deeper layers of communication, back, where emotions live and feelings are often hidden between sentences. Many times people express themselves not with their words, but with their tone, their pauses, and the silence that lingers after they stop speaking. Back. To truly be present in love means paying attention to these subtle signals, recognizing what is not being said, and honoring the vulnerability that exists in unspoken emotions. When you listen in this way, back, you create a space where the other person feels safe enough to open their heart fully. This form of listening is not passive, it is active, intentional, and deeply compassionate. Back. It is an act of love that cannot be replaced by gestures or promises because it touches the very core of human connection. When someone speaks, they are not only sharing information, back, they're revealing parts of their soul. If your focus is divided or your mind is already forming a response, you miss the deeper meaning behind their words. True listening means quieting the urge to reply and giving space for the other person's feelings to unfold. It requires patience to sit with their emotions, even when the silence feels heavy. Love asks us to look past the surface and hear the heartbeat behind the message. By doing so, we communicate without interruption that their thoughts matter, their feelings are valid, and their presence is significant. Back. This level of listening deepens intimacy and builds trust, because it reassures the other person that they do not have to fight for understanding. Listening beyond words also demands that we observe with all our senses. Back, the eyes can reveal pain hidden behind a smile, and the body can carry tension that words never admit. When you become attuned to these small details, you begin to understand your partner in ways they may not even articulate themselves. This is where love becomes profound, when you can recognize the unspoken needs and respond to them without being asked. Back. It creates a bond where silence is no longer uncomfortable, but becomes another language of its own. You start to feel emotions not only with your ears, but with your whole being, and that is what presence truly means. Back. It is not about passively sitting across from someone, it is about being immersed in their world with complete attention. Often, relationships suffer not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of listening. When words are dismissed or emotions are brushed aside, the connection begins to weaken. Presence requires us to resist the habit of dismissing or minimizing what the other feels, even when we do not fully understand it. Listening does not mean always agreeing. It means respecting the reality of their experience. It means offering empathy instead of solutions, comfort instead of criticism, and patience instead of impatience. Back. These choices turn listening into a form of healing. When you listen deeply, you validate the humanity of the other person, and in that validation, love grows stronger than ever. Listening beyond words also teaches humility. It reminds us that love is not about being right, but about being connected. Too often, conversations turn into competitions of who has the better argument or who will get the last word. But presence in love is not about winning. It is about understanding. It is about letting go of ego long enough to truly hear what another heart is trying to express. In those moments, you discover that love is not built on proving points, but on building bridges. When you choose to listen with humility, you give permission for vulnerability to exist, and that vulnerability becomes the glue that binds two souls together. It is in that shared space of openness where the deepest intimacy begins to bloom. There is also an element of patience in listening that cannot be overlooked. Not everyone expresses themselves with clarity, and not every emotion comes out neatly packaged in words. Sometimes feelings are messy, confusing, and scattered. True presence means staying with the conversation even when it is uncomfortable. Even when the other struggles to find the right words. It means resisting the urge to interrupt or to finish their sentences, allowing them the time they need to process. This patience communicates acceptance, and acceptance is one of the purest expressions of love. It shows that you are not only there for the polished parts, but also for the moments of struggle. This is what makes listening an act of devotion rather than a passive act. Listening is also about memory. When you remember the small details of what someone has shared, you prove that their words mattered to you. Back. Whether it is recalling a dream they once mentioned or noticing a fear they silently hinted at, remembering shows respect and care. Love flourishes in these details because they make the other person feel cherished. Forgetting may be human, but remembering is intentional, and it tells the heart, I hold your words close. These remembered details often become the seeds of intimacy, back, turning everyday conversations into lasting memories. Over time, this habit of remembering transforms listening from an act into a lifestyle of presence. It becomes a way of consistently honoring love. Back, listening beyond words also invites us to be emotionally present, not just physically available. You may be in the same room with someone, but if your mind is elsewhere, they will feel the distance. Presence means aligning your heart and mind with the moment at hand. It is about putting aside the weight of personal worries and making space for the emotions of the other person. This alignment is not always easy, back, but it is necessary if love is to thrive. When you show up emotionally present, you create a connection where vulnerability feels welcomed rather than judged. This is the kind of presence that makes love not just survive, but flourish even in the face of challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of listening is that it builds a language of trust. Every time you listen with full attention, back, you reinforce the belief that you are a safe space. This trust allows the other person to share more openly, more honestly, and more deeply than before. Over time, this builds a cycle of openness, get back, where both feel free to reveal their true selves. Trust like this cannot be demanded. It must be earned through consistent presence. And the act of listening is one of the most reliable ways to earn it back. With each moment of deep attention, you are quietly telling the other person that their inner world matters as much as the outer one. Finally, back, listening transforms love from something ordinary into something extraordinary. It elevates conversations into sacred exchanges where souls meet and hearts align. Back. Every relationship in the world can benefit from this kind of presence because it turns simple moments into opportunities for connection. Listening is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It does not require wealth, by status, or effort beyond intention, yet it creates bonds that many spend a lifetime searching for. When you listen beyond words, you are not only understanding the other person, you are honoring the connection itself. That act of presence is the quiet force that gives love its depth, its beauty, and its ability to last through every season. Many people believe that love is proven through grand gestures, back, but the truth is that love lives in the small choices we make every single day. Choosing presence over perfection means understanding that it is not about flawless actions or perfectly timed words, but about showing up consistently with authenticity. Perfection is unattainable, and chasing it often creates pressure that pulls us away from true connection. Presence, on the other hand, is always within reach, back, and it requires nothing more than the willingness to be genuine. When you release the expectation of perfect moments, you create space for real, meaningful experiences to unfold. Back. This is where love finds its strength, not in the absence of flaws, but in the courage to remain fully engaged, even when things are imperfect. Every relationship will encounter challenges, disagreements, and moments of misunderstanding. In those times, it is easy to retreat or pretend everything is fine in an effort to appear perfect. Back. But real presence asks us to stay grounded and emotionally available even when the circumstances are messy. It is about being willing to admit mistakes, to listen without defensiveness, back, and to show compassion when emotions run high. This does not mean suppressing feelings or avoiding hard conversations. It means facing them with honesty and openness. Back. Love grows in those raw moments because they reveal the depth of our commitment to remain present even when it would be easier to look away. Choosing presence over perfection is choosing truth over appearance. And that choice makes love resilient. There is a natural vulnerability in being fully present, and many people shy away from it because it feels uncomfortable. Back. To be present means allowing yourself to be seen exactly as you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your hopes, and your fears. When you strive for perfection, back, you hide behind an image that may impress others but creates distance in relationships. Presence strips away the mask and allows genuine intimacy to develop. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Back. It is a doorway to deeper connection. When you choose presence, you say, I am willing to be real with you, even if it is not flawless. That authenticity is what brings love to life in ways perfection never could. Back. Small daily actions often have the most lasting impact when it comes to building a strong bond. Simple things like putting aside distractions during a conversation, remembering the details of what someone has shared, or offering a comforting touch in silence show that you are present. These gestures may seem insignificant, but they carry profound meaning because they are consistent. Love does not require extravagant displays. It requires sincerity and attention. When you show up in the little things, you create a foundation of trust that can withstand big storms. Over time, these patterns of presence become the fabric of a lasting connection, far more valuable than temporary moments of perfection. Perfection often creates pressure that suffocates love, while presence creates freedom that allows it to grow. When you expect yourself or your partner to be flawless, every mistake feels like failure. But when you value presence, mistakes become opportunities to understand each other better and to deepen the bond. Back. This shift in perspective relieves the pressure of unrealistic standards and replaces it with acceptance. Acceptance is what allows love to flourish naturally without the fear of judgment. Back. By embracing presence instead of chasing perfection, you create an environment where both people feel safe to be themselves. That safety is one of the greatest gifts you can give in love. There is also a profound sense of peace that comes with choosing presence. Instead of constantly striving to meet impossible ideals, you find fulfillment in the simplicity of being together. This peace does not come from ignoring flaws, but from realizing that flaws are part of being human. Love is not about removing imperfections, but about holding space for them without letting them overshadow connection. When you are fully present, the imperfections fade into the background, and what remains is the beauty of genuine companionship. This piece allows relationships to feel less like a performance and more like a partnership where both breathe, grow, and thrive. Presence over perfection also means living in the moment rather than dwelling on the past or fearing the future. Too often, relationships suffer because attention is consumed by regrets or anxieties. But love can only be experienced in the present moment, and that is where presence becomes powerful. By anchoring yourself in the here and now, you create opportunities for connection that are fresh and alive. The laughter shared over a small joke, the comfort of a quiet evening, the warmth of a simple meal together. All of these moments gain significance when you are fully there. Love becomes richer not because it is perfect, but because it is alive in the present. In choosing presence, you also learn to appreciate progress over perfection. Growth in relationships is not about achieving an ideal state, but about continuously moving forward together. Every challenge faced, every misunderstanding resolved, and every small victory celebrated adds to the journey. Presence ensures that you are attentive to this growth and grateful for it, even if it is not flawless. Perfection demands a destination that can never be reached, but presence values the path itself. That perspective transforms the way love is experienced. It becomes less about achieving an image and more about nurturing a reality. This mindset creates a love that evolves, adapts, and endures. Ultimately, choosing presence over perfection allows love to be real, and real love is what everyone longs for. It is not about polished moments for the outside world to admire, but about meaningful connections that only those within the relationship can feel. Presence makes love tangible in everyday life. Through through struggle, through silence, and through joy. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary memories because they are lived authentically. Real love is not about flawless harmony, but about the willingness to remain fully engaged in each moment. Presence ensures that love does not fade under pressure, but deepens with time, becoming something truly unshackable. The beauty of presence is that it is a choice available to everyone regardless of circumstances. You do not need to be perfect to be loved. You need only to be present. When you choose to show up as you are, you give permission for love to thrive in its truest form. This is the kind of love that endures challenges, celebrates imperfections, and grows stronger through honesty. It is the kind of love that does not demand a flawless performance, but treasures a genuine heart. And when two people commit to presence over perfection, they create a connection that cannot easily be broken. Love becomes not an ideal to chase, but a reality to live, one moment at a time, in all its imperfect yet beautiful truth. If this touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe and join our soul family.